It is a special night in Toy Collector World. Yes, it is the first night of New York Toy Fair. And Quip and I think even more, are going to jump in and talk about it tonight on Geek Dad Live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geek Dad Live. My name is Jay Glatfelter, and with me tonight is Business Quip.
Good morrow, good evening, greetings. How are you doing this wonderful evening, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Quip, for being up to doing an extra show. So we're gonna do our normal show tomorrow. But there's just so much stuff that is like, shit, we're gonna have to at least like 2 days. I don't know, maybe more and more stuff comes out. Maybe just every day of Toy Fair. Was it end on Monday, Tuesday? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But excited to be here to at least start breaking it down, jumping into things. Oh, and he said he couldn't join us tomorrow, but he can join us tonight. All right. Please welcome Gary. I hope he dressed appropriately for the night. I don't know if people are realizing that both
this is very serious stuff, Gary.
Wearing ties and suit type things.
You know what? I'm underdressed.
Yeah,
but I am wearing something I would wear to the toy show. So
okay, well, there you go.
Oh boy, it's a Moo Mesa. Oh my goodness!
If I had a Moo Mesa tie, I would definitely rock that right now.
I mean, I'm being really lazy with mine to be. Oh, why is this going up? Go up. There we go. I'm being lazy with mine. I'm just wearing a t-shirt with a tie. I realized like last minute I had to switch out. But hopefully this makes Ryan Dole happy, since he was complaining about how we never dress nice for things. But anywho, gentlemen, so much stuff is dropped. Gary, you were texting me. There's like, and then there's another thing, and there's more.
Yeah, so much.
So Quip had the great idea to maybe break it up. I gotta take this jacket off. I'm so hot.
Go for it.
Wool was a bad choice.
Well, you're so excited about all the toys, right? You're just you're getting hot under the collar. You gotta, you know.
But it's so much fun. I was planning to go this year, but just wasn't in the cards this year. But so thankful and grateful to all of our friends that are there in New York this weekend, doing phenomenal coverage. Yes, have some. Toy Anxiety Crew has been dropping videos. Of course, Pixel Dan always doing great work. Dan Larson is there. The Fruit. I mean, everybody is there. Preternia. So we're gonna be using some of their pictures and stuff too. So thanks to them, we're able to Google and Google all of the reveals to talk about tonight. But before we get into any of that on this special Saturday edition of Geek Dad Live, let's say hello to the chat. It is hopping even on a non-Sunday night. We got Fetz, who did a poop emoji. I don't know if that's how he feels about this show or
meh.
The reveals. I don't know. Jack Knight is here. Will Rodriguez, Justin Huber, Jeff Cope, Dave, Toy Manoids is here. Elio, Video Power Gaming, Chris Negri, Shiny Plastic People, Deep Space Niner is here. Mecha Man Blade, Tucker Prime, Quip, you're here in the actual show as well. It's Chris Bruno, Grain Train, Jeff Cope. I think I did Jeff Cope already. I'll do him again. Rabbit McGavin, Cone Killer Confuser, Joe Coleman is here. Hills Toy Collection, Chef M80 is here as well. Stanley's Toy Channel rejoining the GDL family memberships.
I got family.
Got family with the GDL family. Shondo Gecko. Matt Bush, Jay knows it's a Saturday, right? Got multiple shows, Matt. He even texted me today. I think he texted me he was the first one to text me the Fright Zone, I think. TMNT Universe, Cougar McGillicuddy, Derek Ova, Jeff White, and so many more. Oh my goodness. A lot of newer names or different names tonight, which is fun.
Yeah.
That's why I was like doing a stream like off cycle or whatever, because it's like, oh, I can never join Sunday, but I can join Monday at 2 p.m. So it's always great.
Yeah, let's use business terms like you know, this is a such a great acquisition of potential, clients that we need.
It's Saturday. Stop with these words.
I didn't realize we'd be doing business talk.
Yeah, there we go. It's business talk. I do like, so before we move away from calling people out in the chat, I don't know if you can see with all faults explanation of the varying levels of dress that says that Jay has the jacket, Quip has the vest, and Gary has the pants.
Listen, I know Gary pretty well. I'm pretty sure he's not wearing pants right now. I'm just gonna call it as I see it. Okay. We got let's see. We got a couple. We got Gray Fox, member for 30 months. Thank you, Gray Fox. Dave, member for 31 months, and Dave gifted 5 GDL family memberships.
I got family.
Welcome to the 5 new GDL family members to the chat. I'm sure none of them are shiny plastic people. So, Quip, I think you talked about breaking it up and maybe doing it by brand, which I dug. So should we? I think we're doing Mattel, Loyal Subjects, and McFarlane tonight. I think that's the breakdown.
Yep, those are the 3 that we had discussed, and I am very excited because the toy tubes have all been buzzing. Right, they're synergizing around some of the latest and greatest news from in the world of Mattel. Right,
they've owned the news cycle for at least, when was Club Grayskull? Was that Thursday?
Yeah,
and then the DC thing, was that Thursday as well? I think it was Thursday as well.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Plus all their Toy Fair reveals, like they're laying it on thick. And if you're like, what about Turtles? Don't worry, we got another show tomorrow. We don't want to be streaming for 27 hours tomorrow, so we're spreading the love over the course of multiple nights. Happy Butters Blast asks, Jay, did you hear rumblings about Mattel getting DC when you made that prediction? I did not, actually. I do get privy to things at times. But that one I had no clue. I was just kind of reading the room. The fact that Owen Ortling, who did the sculpting for Superpower, said he wasn't doing it anymore. And just, it seemed like they were winding things. It just felt like that would happen. And again, I predicted that Star Wars would go to somebody else. That didn't happen. I mean, maybe it could still happen. I don't know. But
I wondered if you had a little inside knowledge and we're just, throwing out some false positives and a true positive. But
I promise. No. I will call him as I see him after the fact. Or if I did know, I wouldn't have even try to say I knew anything remotely like it.
Like 30 years from now, Jay's going to write a book called If I Did Know about this exact moment.
A lot lower stakes in that situation.
Yeah.
Quip looking like the slickest CEO ever.
I'm saying.
When you talk about those acquisitions, I get a little shiver down my spine.
You got to.
Yeah.
You got to.
And I'm looking like the homeless guy applying for a job. So we're making it work.
Well, I was next thing I know is Quip's gonna be talking about synergy. I'm sure that's on your agenda.
I mentioned synergy. I mentioned the toy tubes were synergizing.
Oh, are we talking gym tonight?
We are talking gym.
Showtime synergy, baby.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn solid OJ. All right. Let's jump into this. Let's start with Mattel, the company of the hour so far. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I think Loyal Subjects could be it. Tomorrow we'll probably do our best of show.
Yeah.
Usually where we pick who was the belle of the ball, so to speak. But let's kick it off with Mattel. Also, I haven't been drinking on Sunday nights because I have to go to work the next day, but today's Saturday. So I got a nice bourbon in the Geek Dad Life thingy tonight for myself. But let's talk about Mattel. And honestly, this is the thing everybody is talking about the most that Mattel revealed today.
Let's just go ahead, come in, hit the ground running, come in with the biggest news property that we recently heard Mattel acquired.
I'm just so excited. So excited. We pull it up right now. Yeah.
Minecraft.
I'm Steve.
Minecraft the movie. I mean, I know these people are on the edge of their seats. It's exciting news. You know, I'm enthralled. I just look at those Jack Blacks. So many Jack Blacks.
There's a lot of Jack Blacks.
I love Jack Black. I'm a big Tenacious D fan. Didn't love how he kicked Kyle out of the band, but I guess that's part of the brand, so to speak. But I'm not really excited for this movie. And honestly, I'll probably get one of these just for fun. It's kind of like, I wonder if like the LeBron James figures for Space Jam Unlimited, whatever that thing was called.
Oh yeah.
Where you could pop the LeBron heads off. I now need a Jack Black head to go along with my LeBron head that I have in my famous action figure head.
Oh, you were one of the ones?
I did it because once I just like, everybody else is doing it.
Sure.
I might as well jump in.
Whoops. Let me mute that.
Turn up.
How unprofessional.
Wow.
My apologies, everyone.
Lord.
It's going to go on your next performance review.
Yeah, it's not looking good. You're at a 2 at best right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Scale of 10. All right, let's go. There's nothing really to say about this. It's cool. This is the thing I'm most excited about.
There we go.
Now this wasn't shown on the floor of Toy Fair, but it was like released today as part of their press packages and stuff like that. And this was, one of the things people voted for when the Snake Lair ultimately won for like the next crowdfunded playset. And the reason I originally thought and was actually kind of cool with the Fright Zone not winning is that I didn't want like what happened to the Snake Lair, which was it needed to justify the $250, $300 price tag, and it needed to be like judged up with all this extra stuff. I just wanted a good Fright Zone. And this thing looks phenomenal. The original Fright Zone is cool. It's iconic in what it is because of its history, but it's not the most compelling or engaging of play sets. And they captured that original look while adding things to it. It looks like it, is foldable, collapsible. The floor is movable, so you have an inside or an outside as a throne for Hordak. I think jury's out on if we wanted another sock puppet or an articulated figure. We can talk about that here. But Quip, what was your first take when you saw this today?
First take on this is, again, Origins just knocking it out of the ballpark as far as a line that is clearly for collectors, for the nostalgic types, but also is something for kids now that kids can play with. I don't know. Do we have a price point right now? Have they? I
don't think we've officially gotten one, but if Snake Mountain was 80, Grayskull was 80, this has to be like 40, $50 would be my guess.
Yeah, so it's still it's reasonable. It's something that you can buy and you're not afraid to open up. It's not so precious, right? That's what's so nice about the Origins line. And really it's an opportunity for a lot of people to make memories with their kids by playing with these. Like I know you've mentioned playing with your kids with like your setup with Eternia. I know there are a couple of other people. I know Derek Hoover. I don't know if they've actually started building his Eternia that his wife gifted him, but I know he and his son's like, I want to build the big blue castle, right? So it's something that's just fun. That again, it kind of some of the sculpture of this particular Fright Zone, right? It kind of evokes the creepiness factor, that play factor, playability, the toyetic vibes that we're getting from this Fright Zone. And I'm excited for people who are collectors of MOTU Origins. And I did want to reference the Minecraft movie. I am legitimately excited to go see that only because my daughter is super amped on Minecraft. Like her and her friends, they play online. And so this is just one of those things that kids are still kids, right? This isn't an app. This isn't a in-app purchase on an iPad. This is a 3D real life thing that adults and kids can bond. This can bring families together and make memories.
Nice.
I am my kids are excited for this film. I just worry it's gonna be like, maybe because Borderlands just put such a bad taste in my mouth. It has Borderlands vibes going on for it, so maybe it'll be more like Jumanji. I love the Jumanji movies; those are fun. They're not anything great, but they're fun movies. So maybe it'll be more like that. We'll see.
It could be a rite of passage. This could be your kids' TMNT 3, where you go to the movie and you're watching it and you're just like, what is this? What did they do to the thing I love? Right? That's kind of it's a part of growing up.
Yes. Gare Bear, what do you think
of the Fright Zone here? I think it's really cool. I love that the birds are removable and flippable on the branches. I think that's such a nice touch. I'm going to weigh in on puppet versus articulated creature. I like articulated creature. I love that people in the chat are already trying to name him to be Modi's partner.
Yes, it's very Modi coded, I will say.
Yeah, Modi coded. Yeah, I think this is really fun, and as long as the price point isn't too steep, it's a great set.
I think it's a great poll question to put out as well. Is where do you prefer sock puppet or this new Modi? But before I did that poll, I put a price point for this.
Ooh.
Before I bring up like what everybody thinks in the chat, feel free to put your vote in. By the way, Gary, price point. What do you think this is going to be?
I think I'm thinking 50.
50. Okay. Business quip. I'm sorry.
Let me think. Because they're going to want to maximize profits, but they're also going to want to increase their customer base. So I'm going to forecast that this particular MSRP on this item is going to come in around, I'll say 40. I'm going to say they're going to come in a little low. But that's ahead of if this is a Mattel Creations or if this is in store, right? So I'm thinking if it's Mattel Creations, it might come in at 40 because they're going to just ship it directly, but you are going to have an additional shipping cost, which will probably put you around like the 55 price point.
Yeah, I will. 40, I think, is wishful thinking. But you know what? If 80 was Castle Grayskull or Snake Mountain, which were pretty chunky, sizable play sets, and this does look a little bit bigger than Fright Zone, but it's not that much bigger than Fright Zone. Maybe you could say it's half, but I feel like my call is going to be $60, maybe $59.99 is what I think. But yeah, Frankie Rivera, we're thinking the same thing here. $59.99.
40, please.
Also, I love the '90s Bugs and Taz, by the way. But the chat. Let's see what the chat had to say. I gave the option of 40, 50, 60, 70. Quip, I'm so sorry. Your business synergistic thought process here. $40 is in last place with only 14% of the vote.
Wow.
In third, you had $70 at 21%. In second, I'm sorry, you had $50 at 29%. And then the number one vote, Gita, $60 at 35%.
Yeah.
But all of us are wrong because Shiny Plastic People guessed it perfectly. It's money 95.
That's a man who shops on Mattel Creations with that. That is, yeah.
Also, I do want to point out that this has a floor. So Ryan Dole, suck it. Okay. Just some quick call outs here that I love. I love that there's an actual inside on the original playset. It's just a hollowed out thing. They're reusing the floor to kind of give us that or more in-depth inside, but even still, the extra little plastic there, I love. It has a weapons rack, which is awesome. The throne on the other side of the tree, this little kind of cage thing, plus the actual kind of trap door, or jail cell that the original one had. I think that is really cool. And this little extra little face guy. Gary, like you said, the little birds that snap on is pretty darn cool. The branches look a little small. The original thing was like the branches would kind of close in and capture the figure. But even still, I think it's fine. But the biggest departure here is the sock puppet to articulated figure. So let me put in the poll. Gary, you already said you prefer the articulated figure. Quip, where do you stand on sock puppet versus articulated monster figure?
Well, you see, nowadays our customer base, so the customer base of Mattel, is looking for longevity in their particular consumables, right? Therefore, I believe that an articulated figure is going to project value versus a sock puppet to our customers. Therefore, they will be willing to shell out a little bit more, understanding that they are getting a return on investment with this particular articulated figure.
You're right. The ROI is significantly better there. Good call. Good call. I'm putting the poll in right now. My personal preference is I want both. Mattel, you got enough money. How much is a little rubber sock puppet? Kirby Puckett, one of my favorite players. Like I think you could do both, because what is that, like a nickel of extra like rubber or something like that? I feel like you could have done both. That is being really nitpicky, if I'm being completely honest. This figure does look great. It does evoke the feel of Modi. Maybe it's like Modi's mommy, like Modi mommy.
I think Allison Troy wins the prize for naming it. She called it Grody.
Grody. Okay, I like that. I like
it.
So it does look really cool. I think it's a nice upgrade. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that could up the price a little bit, because an articulated tooled figure does add to the cost. Hopefully it doesn't. If it does, then definitely sock puppet. Puppet. Why can't I say it? It's the sock. Chris Bruno says, because it has a floor, small business owner Ryan Dole is not a fan. All right, let's see what you all think in the chat. 71 votes. I'm going to end the poll right now. Gentlemen, any guesses what the chat's thinking, unless you're reading it right now and you're cheating?
It's on that screen. I'm not looking over there. I think, geez, I don't know. I think the chat's going to be for the articulated figure. No Puckett.
Okay. No Puckett.
Let me see.
Oh no, I've gotten so many damn it Garys tonight.
I'm gonna say, so if your vibe does indeed attract your tribe, and I'm still going off of the Elmo hate and fogeyism from the last
listen.
I'm gonna say that most of the GDL family does not want change, and they would have appreciated a puppet more than this articulated figure. That's what I'm going to assume, right?
Well, much like you saying I hate Elmo, you're wrong. 83% said they prefer the articulated figure. So Mattel made the right call. There you go.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Well, you know what? I want to applaud the chat for being, their own people, for being individuals and not blindly following somebody who is just stuck in the past, right? There we go.
Oh my God. Okay. Quip, your business is not businessing.
Or is it? Or is it a parody of some popular business folks? I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
You don't know. This is a character. This is Business Quip.
Business Quip is not real Quip.
Yeah.
What I love is if eventually we'll get to this like Apocalypse Now conclusion for your character art Quip, which is like, I don't know which Quip I am anymore. But we've only had like one alternate ego for Quip, so hopefully in time we'll get a whole bunch of different versions of Quip.
Yeah.
Thunder Quiplin. Derek Uber, we're growing. Quip redemption arcs for all. Redemption arcs for all depends on that one. I'm just gonna call it out. Depends. Okay. That was really cool. Fright Zone, I'm really pumped for. I think it's a big deal, huge deal that, you know, this is the 5th year of MOTU Origins proper, right? It started in 2020, or hit retail in 2020, hit San Diego Comic-Con in 2019. But the 5th full year of MOTU Origins, and any toy line going 5 years is huge. But the fact that in year 5, you're still getting play sets. And we're going to go through a lot of these figure reveals, but you're still getting a crap ton of figures, different spin-offs, crossovers. And for, again, I'm going to say it, I love MOTU, obviously, but it's more of a niche line. It's not like as prevalent of an IP as some other 80s stuff. And the fact that it's that strong is a testament to, I think, as Business Quip, as you were saying earlier, the synergistic business plans.
Mm-hmm. Exactly like GPS you said
reports.
Yeah.
MOTU. Okay, let's look at some of the figure reveals. And this first one's a big deal because Shadow Weaver is just one of those characters that holds a lot of weight. It was one of those essential characters back in the She-Ra days that we didn't get a figure for. Eventually got it as a Club Grayskull exclusive, different Club Grayskull, in the MOTU Classics days. We've gotten a Masterverse version. I think Super 7 did a Shadow Weaver as well, but now we're getting an Origins Tune version of Shadow Weaver. This is a big deal, I think. We'll go Gary first on this one. What's your thoughts on this Shadow Weaver?
I mean, I think it looks great. I don't really have a ton to add because I'm not super into the MOTU lore. But like the fact that we are getting this obscure character, I think is really great, and I think it looks sculpting wise.
Obscure, by the way.
Well, obscure toy. Is that better? I'm gonna get another damn it, Gary, aren't I? Damn it, me. Yeah, I love the color palette, the sculpt, and everything. So I'm all for it.
Quip, what you got?
I personally am a fan. I missed the episode in the old Filmation cartoon where they were at a karaoke bar, so I don't understand what she's holding. And I'm assuming that that's the request list that's right by the DJ where you write down the song you want to sing. Yeah. I'm trying to take the heat off of Gary.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
But what song did she sing?
I don't know. The song that pops in my head is "My Milkshake" by Khalees.
No, why not? Okay, that's fun. But what about a Dreamweaver, right?
That's what I was thinking.
It was right there.
Dreamweaver.
Yeah,
I believe it. Yes, very curvy, Paul Galliano. Correct. She's very boobalicious. She's got big old, like, it's kind of it's really extra, but you know, good for her. We are a body positive channel here on YouTube. But yeah, she looks good. She looks like Shadow Weaver. She's singing "Raining Blood." All right, let's keep moving on here. We've already seen this Hordak. That's not new. Well, maybe the hand accessory is new. Kind of losing track on all the different Hordaks, but yeah. And then this is another He-Man. This is the didn't he get? Is this? I'm trying. There's all these different versions of He-Man. Chat, tell me which version of He-Man this is, unless Quip or Gary, you know. I'm guessing you don't know.
I don't know.
It's not new. This isn't new. Okay. Oh no, I'm guessing Hordak isn't new. Oh, Faker. Okay.
That's what I thought. It might have been Faker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's fake. Okay, cool. Awesome. Faker.
And this makes more sense as a Faker because, you know, he looks like him. He's
exactly
not blue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It is the bourbon. Also, I couldn't really see. I didn't really get what I thought it was just like he was blinded or something. Sorry. Go ahead. Next one. We got some more Orko characters. This is Grandpa Orko. I don't know all the Orko characters' names. Does anybody know what this one's called? Tell me in the chat.
Grandpa Orko.
Grandpa Orko.
Is this different than the regular?
Orko.
Like, can you swap out the head and the scarf for the regular Orko, or are the colors different? I'm not that.
Oh, okay. It is.
It looks like a combo. Yeah.
Yes, it is. You get a 2-for-1 special on this. It's Orko / Montork.
Okay.
So there you go.
Go ahead, hit the soundboard. You get a 2-for-1.
Oh, you're right. Hold on. Sorry.
There you go.
Does this have Faker have the white glow eyes? I guess that's what it's trying to do. That little paint is trying to be the maybe it's glow in the dark paint. So there you go.
Cool.
But yeah, so if you can see here, you have the extra head and little scarf to give yourself 2-for-1 on the Orko. Question for you, gentlemen: does this, if it's full price, this little figure, does the fact you get 2 figures in one make the $20 go down a little bit easier?
You're not really getting 2 figures in one. You're getting multiple heads and scarves. Like, I don't think so.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it even comes with the stand.
At least give us 12 sets of hands.
Build it up.
Sorry, Cliff.
No. That's good. Yeah, I don't know that I still see 20 for this particular figure. I mean, he's got what seemingly or could equate to additional accessories, but I don't know. It's not reading $20 to me.
Well, the thing is like the regular Motu Origins Orko, which is a really good Orko, had like an extra, like a really cool stand that was kind of this translucent purple kind of cloud burst effect, and you could kind of move it around, and it was really cool. And the Orko was a little bit larger of a size since it was kind of evoking the look of the original toy. If it stays this small, I love the fact you can get 2-for-1 kind of, but not really. You should just put an extra body in there, you know?
Yeah. Or just pack in a bunch of like cool accessories, like you say, smoke clouds or whatever. Like that would be that would make it a little more worthwhile. But
yeah, I agree.
I'm trying to. My table's being all wonky. It won't go down. There we go. It wouldn't go up earlier. But let's see. 1.5 for 1. Yes, shiny plastic people. That's exactly what it is. All right, let's keep moving on here. Oh, that's the Faker again. Closer up. Cool. Bo. Everybody loves Bo. And this one looks just like the Bo from the cartoon. So if that's what you're looking for, this is what you need.
Yeah. Looks cool.
I kind of wish it was not the cartoon style, though. That's just me. Quip, are you a Bo fan?
He looks cool. Yeah, I don't know too much about him, but hey, Dorlaxon, Bo knows. There you go. Yeah, it's a really cool looking character, and I like it.
Does
he have like an arrow in his hand?
He does. You know, he's a bow and arrow guy.
Yeah.
And I kind of, This is tough for me, where I prefer the more toy style Motu Origins figures, but I'm really happy for the Toon fans that have always wanted cartoon accurate filmation She-Ra and He-Man figures. So cool, very happy for you. And I prefer this look to the original toy version. But that being said, I kind of wish maybe it was a little more toyish than cartoonish. We also have the Toon version of Grizzlor. Again, this one's an easy pass for me because I like the furry. I like them furry. Quip, what's your thoughts on this one?
I didn't even recognize this as Grizzlor. If you looked at the notes that I put together, I literally put Beauty and the Beast Man because he has a mirror. So I was like, let me just, I have no idea who this is. Let me just put something on the list. I too prefer the furry Grizzlor. Yeah.
I just be natural, you know, just let your hair flow. That's all I'm saying. And then yes, it comes with the moon mirror. I think this is what's cool about the Toon figures is the accessories are like things from the show, so it adds to that. So again, there's a lot of great things to love here if you're a Filmation fan in the Toon line. Gary, do you prefer extra furry or all plastic Grizzlor?
I'm just going to skip that question, and I'm going to say that I love the accessory. I think the mirror looks really cool. No, I mean, like, this is fine, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it. I like the head sculpt.
This looks like, again, if you're not a fan of the cartoon, this does look great. It looks great.
Every time.
What did I do?
I don't even understand that one. That was.
No, I accept it. It's fine.
And then what's this guy's name again? I know this guy's name. I'm blanking.
If you referred to the notes that I provided, his name is Mr. Lizard Fishhead, aka Crazy Eights.
Did you? I'm looking now. Did you really write that?
Yeah.
It's not Tongue Lasher. Fangor. Thank you.
There we go. Okay.
Or Fangman. Fangman. Fangor. Fangman. Again,
put a poll in the chat. Let the chat.
Barracuda Bob. I like Crazy Eights.
Yeah.
I actually thought that might be real.
Charlie Tuna after a binger.
Oh.
Who's Charlie? I don't know who Charlie Tuna is. Hopefully it's not anything offensive.
He's the Sunkissed Tuna guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The mascot.
As far as I know, he's very safe. So.
Has he been canceled? He hasn't
Not
done
yet.
I don't know. Okay. People co-opt so many random characters in order to represent such awful things.
I love Mac tonight, but I can't ever love him again because a bunch of white nationalists had to ruin it for everybody.
Yep.
Goddamn Nazis. Remember when Nazis were bad? That was great. Let's keep going on here. I think
Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
And to be clear, I'm only laughing because I'm uncomfortable.
No, you're just pro-Nazi. Damn it, Gary. Let's keep moving on here.
Please.
I don't even think I can say Nazi on YouTube. This stream
just ended.
You're right. They shut it down. This is another Masterverse She-Ra. We've gotten one already that has more of the classic, you could say, Filmation style look. I think it's really solid. But this one goes for the more toy look, and I dig it, like, especially because I already got the classic look. So if you want another look for She-Ra, you get another pass at it. I'm guessing this is the new Eternia one, so it's kind of pulling from different looks to kind of go with her design. And I love the pearlescent white plastic here. And I've seen some comments not liking the head sculpt, but for me it looks pretty solid here. Like it's a different take. It's what I like about New Eternia, which is, I'm assuming this is a New Eternia She-Ra. But I think she looks pretty good. Quip, what's your thoughts?
I think she looks great. Honestly, this is motivating me to just go downstairs and start hitting the weights some more. Like, I'm looking at those legs, like those quads are ridiculous. Like, I need to step my game up. So yeah, now this I like the sculpt. I like kind of that. It's not translucent, it's pearlescent. Like,
it's like a pearlescent white. Yeah. This
is a really cool Masterverse. And then even looking at that face sculpt, just zooming in a little more, this looks like one of, if not the best paint applications for faces in the Masterverse line. I would hazard to say that. Yeah.
Whatever that, printed paint thing, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I think it looks pretty solid here. Gare Bear, what's your thoughts?
I'm a big fan of this. I think it's a great looking figure. Even the definition on the biceps, like when your action figure is casting shadows because of its muscles, like it's insane. But the head sculpt looks really good. The only thing I might change is darken her hair just a tad so that it doesn't blend so much with the yellow of the mask. But outside of that, like, this is a chef's kiss.
You earned a finally, Gary. From Allison Troy. Well done.
There you go.
Done. All right. But yeah, I agree. Like the musculature here, like she's a badass in the sculpt and design. They really crushed this one. I dig it. Agree. The vertical hinge. Where is that? Any suit says, I wish to give it a vertical hinge on the wrist to hold the sword aloft. Maybe it's still early enough. This does look pretty almost production ready to change it, but Derek Uber, we believed in you all along, Gary.
Thank you, Derek.
And yes, this figure does remind you not to skip leg day. Never skip leg day. Okay, I know it's tough.
Yeah.
But look at She-Ra and remind yourself, never skip leg day. Let's keep it's Toy Arc. Toy Arc understood the assignment.
They got it, yeah. I like the green pearlescent on the shield too, like the little
yes, the little jewel or whatever.
Yeah, looks so cool.
It looks very good. All right, we've got Terror Claws Skeletor. And again, this is, I'm assuming, a new Eternia look. And to me, new Eternia, what I love about it is do whatever the hell you want, Mattel, because it's like we're saying we're gonna, maybe we'll get weird with it. We're gonna pull from different, eras and maybe concept art and just give you something. And sometimes it doesn't work, like Whiplash. I thought maybe not so much, but this is kind of fun. I like the tubes hooking from the what was his sports bra in the original toy. It actually gives it some more function in this one here. The claws do look a little more terrifying since it is Terror Claws Skeletor. And I dig the little, laser tag helmet edition here. I am digging him. Gary, what was your thoughts when you saw this one?
I love the pink of the helmet. Like my eyes immediately go to that. And also, yes, the hand sculpt is insane. Truly putting the terror in Terror Claws, as opposed to the last one, which was sort of like mild inconvenience claws.
I'm gonna get you.
Annoyance claws.
Annoyance claws.
It's like it's a scratch. He's like,
or they're I'm not touching you fingers, right?
Right. Yeah. I'm not touching you. Yeah. I think it looks really cool. It's a fun blending of
agreed.
Yeah, just
agreed.
Yeah, words. I got none.
No, you did. Yeah, you had great words. You had great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Quip. What's your thoughts?
I agree. So this whole get up kind of reminds me. So it's mainly his halter top. It's giving me like 80s, 90s, like quarterback, like kind of
for sure.
Where he's got the cutoff and then the short shorts.
Which is not a bad look.
It's not a bad. He clearly works out.
Gambit brought it back in X-Men 97, and I'm here for the return, okay? If you got abs, if you got a 6-pack, 10-pack, 12-pack, whatever, go for it. Show it off.
So now business Quip is really kicking in right now.
Okay.
What are your thoughts, right? So Gambit's bringing it back. Clearly it's coming back with Terror Claws, Skeletor, a GDL halter top. Like, what are you thinking? Where are we at? Are we
let's raise our hands. Anybody has the abs or whatever to show off for a halter top on this stream right now?
I don't, but does that make it better?
Yeah.
Not for me.
Wait. To stay on brand, didn't you just say earlier we're a body positive?
You're right. We're body positive. So are we all doing it? No, I'm not doing it. You can do it though. I support you doing it. I just won't.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Hey, listen, I've met Paul in real life. I could see him crushing. He looks very fit. So Paul,
there you go.
If you want to come on the stream and rock anybody, if you want to wear a halter top, go for it.
I'll work on
body
it.
Positivity.
Maybe next Toy Fair I'll show up in my GDL halter top.
I love it. I think that's great. You're right, Allison Chart. I do need to learn to love my body. I'm a work in progress every single day. I'm doing my best day in, day out.
There you go.
Then everyone has to post a selfie in the Geek Dad Live halter top. I think I got some leftover Geek Dad Live t-shirts. I could probably go get those and just cut off the bottom of them. If we ever do a meetup, maybe that could be a fun activity.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Let's keep moving on here. But yeah, he looks good. He looks damn good. And the wash on those claws looks great. It's too far gone now, but Brick mentioned he doesn't dig that it's protecting his eyes because Skeletor doesn't have eyes, and I would disagree. I feel like he has glowing eyes in there. Maybe they're not physical.
Yeah. That helmet looks like he borrowed it from Cobra Commander a little. I mean, there's the pink part. So he borrowed it and then he zhuzhed it a bit, to go with his outfit.
I agree.
Yeah, I like that.
Also said Judge Dredd Skeletor, hands or Mo.
That's a good call.
But I think it's fun, and I assume there's a cool little Skeletor sculpt under there. So I think there is. I think they showed pictures of it.
Yeah, I like the little emblem on the helmet too. I just noticed that.
Well, the whole thing is like it's a dragon, and the side of the helmet is the wings of the dragon, which is really cool.
Oh wow! Yeah, okay.
It's a neat sculpt. It's really cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Dave, yeah, you're right, 100%. Very 90s Coco.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe yes, because we're all gonna maybe be, we're in San Diego. That's when you wear your halter top. I love it. I love it. We already have this figure, right? So that's not anything new. Flying Fist He-Man, we got this one. I'm pretty sure I have.
I'll say one thing that I would have liked to see, because that's new Eternia Flying Fists He-Man, correct?
Sure, yeah.
Why didn't they make the balls look like little gold fists?
You're right.
It was right there.
I went for it.
That's a missed opportunity.
Or I think because we talked about this figure on the Toy Geeks podcast with Dan Larson, and I think it was Pixel Dan was on that episode, and I think we came to the conclusion that Flying Fist Masterverse should have actually had like rocket launching fists.
Oh,
so that they would have literally been flying fists.
Okay.
Yeah. But yours at least incorporates the original accessory, which is maybe more on brand.
Yeah.
And he does come with gold fists. But again, those don't fly.
Weapon. Do they go on the weapon for the spinning?
No,
action?
they don't.
Yeah.
I like the detail on the face sculpt. I mean, he kind of looks like the lead singer of Bread, which is a whole thing, but like it does look really good. The cheekbones and everything.
This is the best one. This is the Faker head sculpt that they repainted for this, and I think the Faker head sculpt's my favorite. It still hasn't nailed it yet, but this is the closest.
Yeah.
Gold finger. Sorry, I have to do that every time I hear Goldfinger. All right, so I think those are the big Masterverse reveals.
Yeah.
No, there's even more. I'm sorry.
Wow.
No, this is the Thundercat stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So we already saw a few of these. I've talked about them on the show. But we got some additional ones. We saw Lino in person.
Looks good.
It does. I wish it was a little more orange. It could just be the flash. Like maybe it's just a little oversaturated. But that being said, it's still pretty solid. We finally get to see the He-Man, and he's got an interesting look to him. It's incorporating, I feel like, some of the Netflix He-Man elements or the final new Eternia playset like stuff that got added, or the Eternia Towers stuff. So I dig it. It's a completely kind of different look for him. I'm here for it. Quip, what's your thoughts on the He-Man?
I can see where they're going for almost cat-like features with this face sculpt. To me, so my initial response was, oh my goodness, it looks like he has like botched Botox, but
body positive. Quip.
Yeah, but exactly. So really sitting with it and kind of, drinking in, kind of trying to see what Mattel may have been trying to do. I could see making his features a little more cat-like with the raised brow, the broader nose. So I think that's kind of a cool concept without going, because you can't go full-on cat for He-Man, because then he really would read Lion-O, right? It would read an additional line, at least to me.
Well, he's got Lion-O's sword here, so something happened, right?
Okay. But I don't hate it. I don't love it. But you know what? It's a fun entrance into this particular line. You cannot have a Thundercats and MOTU crossover without having He-Man. So
yeah, absolutely. And I like they did something different. They didn't just reuse a MOTU Origins He-Man buck. They did something new, which is fun.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gary. What's your thoughts?
It's sort of a hybrid of multiple He-Men put into one, and also a little Fabio, it seems like. But it looks fine. I like that they are trying something different, you know, this far into the line. Like, why the hell not? It's a new crossover, so you know, take some creative freedoms. And I have to wonder if there's a comic book or something that this is coinciding with, and it's based on the art designs from that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I did want to plus in this chat here about Netflix. Speaking of Netflix, I'm really surprised that we haven't gotten a Final Form He-Man and Teela 2-pack in Masterverse. I'm surprised as well. I know Teddy Biaselli, friend of the show, is I know he'd love to have those figures too. Like such a cool look. This might be the closest we ever get to having that. So it's not that close, but it's something.
Right.
And there would definitely be a comic, going back to your art comment there, Gary.
Yeah. But it's sort of a chicken egg situation, which came first, right? Like the character design in the toy or the character design in the comic book.
Yeah. But I will say, like, once you get rid of the Dutch boy haircut, like I think this one, out of all the different versions, the longer hair, kind of pulled back kind of hair thing is a really good look. It's a really good look. And that to me, like, what is that kind of final form He-Man in the Netflix season 2 show is just a really, really good look. So I think it's a good modern take. I don't know if the movie's gonna do that though.
I'm pretty much doing that exact same thing right now. So
damn it, Gary, it's not
just
about
without the muscles.
All right, we got Panthro. Not Panther. Good lord, that's a different character. Panthro. I'm kind of bummed he's not a combo with Panther. That probably wouldn't have worked very well. But again, cool that he's man at arms. Like that's basically the role on the Thundercats show, so it makes sense that he's got some man at arms stuff. It looks like it definitely changes the look of the figure a lot, but again, it looks like we have like swappable parts to give us a classic looking Panther, which I think is the ace in the hole for this toy line. But Quip, any thoughts here?
I think it was clearer with the Lion-O and with Chitara about how those could still have different parts of the armor removed. Man-at-Arms I get why they did Panthro as Man-at-Arms. It kind of makes sense, right? It's analogous to his role in the Thundercats, just like Man-at-Arms' role in MOTU. But you said Panther, and now I just kind of wish he was flocked in purple.
Maybe they could do another. Wave 2, the next comic book says they get merged, or I don't know.
Panthoro.
This one looks like that tunic part could be more removable for your more classic look. The arm could be interesting.
Well, if you look, you can see his hands in here. I don't know if you can see that. So I think that just comes off. This cufflink comes off. That comes off.
I think the head to shoulder ratio, though, once you remove that chest piece, I don't know. Honestly, if you look at it, kind of squint your eye, like squint one eye and close the other. I'm getting a little bit of Dave Bautista, like from underneath there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, like broader. So I don't know how his head's gonna scale to, because Dave Bautista is like a broad-shouldered, large.
Or was he? He lost a lot of weight.
You're right. He did slim down a lot.
But
so old Batista, like wrestling.
Old Batista.
That it could work, but I don't know how that aesthetic is going to line up with your Lion-O without armor and your Chitara without armor, if you're interested in getting these and removing them for a more classic Thundercat set.
There is a huge what if with these toys, which is we've seen the accessories and we see that all of the accoutrement on top of these figures is removable to give you the more classic look, but we have not seen them in their classic looks. I'm sure there's some licensing reason why that hasn't been seen, but the jury is out on this toy line until I think we get pictures or YouTube reviews or whatever of all of these in their classic looks. I think we're assuming they're going to look good, but if they don't, I think this whole toy line, if it is a house of cards, comes tumbling down.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm very on the fence just based on this still image of the character. It's one of those that I'm going to have to see in person, I think, to really make up my mind on whether I like it or not. Just to call out the cufflink, I also shopped at Gadzooks in the 90s, so that's cool. But yeah, I'm curious to see, you know, how it all looks with the chest piece removed. So
Yeah, agreed. And then the Battle Cat man is badass. I love this figure so much.
Yeah. If you're gonna get one figure in this line, this is
right.
the clear runaway winner, I think, in my personal opinion. Yeah,
it's the coolest thing. And to your point, Quip, like maybe you get Panther man, and but it needs to be flocked. You need to flock it up.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a little disappointed they didn't morph He-Man into a mount so that you could put Battle Cat Man riding He-Man.
It'd be so weird, but yeah, you're right. It would be perfect. It'd be perfect. It'd be on the same level of that Toy Biz motorcycle for X-Men, where he had Wolverine's face on the front of the X-Men cycle.
It wouldn't have to be like if they really leaned into it and basically made it like a blonde cat, right? But with different. You know,
sure. Nah, I kind of want it just to be He-Man's
like fleshy and weird. And, yeah, it's.
Yeah, that's
30-30 and Brave Star. That's what.
Yeah, right. I kind of just something. Just go for it. Go for it. But yeah, he's fun. Skeletor, also Mumra. I think it's Skeletra or Skelma. I don't know.
Is it Skeletra? I thought it was Skelra.
Skullross, whatever.
Yeah.
Mumra, Skeletor. Again, we see the pieces here; they look good, but jury's out until we get to actually see how it looks as Mumra. Tigra, we hadn't seen yet. Again, this one, the face looks a little melty. I'm not a huge fan of the head sculpt on this one. Yeah. This is the one that Panther was still fine, but this one looks like it's falling apart. But also, if you look, it may just be a bad, this is maybe a bad paint sample because it's very gloppy. This joint isn't fully in the arm yet. So I'll hold judgment until maybe we see the final figure here. This looks like it's early, prototype, Jace.
That Tigra screams Rum Tum Tigger from Cats. Like that. It's looking like from the Broadway musical Cats, and less like it's from Thundercats.
Right.
I've never seen Cats, but isn't Rum Tum Tugger like the hot one? Like everyone wants to sleep with Rum Tum Tugger.
He's
the hot one
character. Yeah.
Jason Derulo played him in the movie, I think.
I didn't see that movie.
Okay. So grain of salt on this one. This is the only one that doesn't look great, but you can easily tell this is kind of a prototype. So it's not perfect yet.
Does that green helmet that's sitting in front of it, I assume, go on him?
Yeah.
I don't understand how, just from looking at the shape of it, but maybe, like you're saying,
be a different head,
or maybe it's a shoulder pad.
Oh,
a pauldron.
Yeah. So
my only comment is I love the color green that they went with for that, the aqua.
Yeah,
marine
it's
type
one of our favorite colors.
Who is he? Who is that armor inspired by from MOTU? I'm missing that. I'm failing to make the connection with that particular color.
It looks kind of out of nowhere, which is fine.
Is it Merman? Because it looks sort of scaly in certain places.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a bad guy. Whatever.
Yeah.
What are the rules in this?
Right. We don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
And then Chitara, she looks solid. Yeah, no notes really. I thought it would be a different. Maybe I realized this on the renders, but I didn't think that it was a swappable hair piece. But I assume it's gonna look good. Right? Because this looks sculpted on her head, but I guess that's removable. Classic hair on there.
I mean, they're getting really good at making that look seamless. So
yeah. And I think Lion-O is the same way too with his hair. Like the hair is swappable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which it's good. Yeah, some people's hair systems look good. Others, like Elon Musk, do not. But I think we'll see how it works. We'll see how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still excited for this toy line. I'm here for it. I think it's really fun. We've all been wanting this for a long time. I do get with you, Quip. Maybe they'll soften the cheekbones a little bit.
It could be the harsh light, like the down light too. It could be the shadows that are being cast by the hair. I think overall, though, as you mentioned earlier, the hair kind of back out of the face versus the bowl cut Dutch boy traditional. I mean,
Looks so much better. Looks
it's
badass.
This one has promise. I do like it. See, it's growing on me. I like it even more than when you first asked earlier in the stream too.
And again, you can tell this is like maybe a paint master. This is not a final product. I think it'll look better once we get the final thing. Toy Fair always usually has the early of the early when they show it off. So I think it'll get better for sure. I think we had Mattel stuff as well. But I don't know if there's anything new. Oh, this is cool. This is pretty interesting. The return of 7 POA more vintage style MOTU figures. This one, if it's cheaper, awesome. If not, it's kind of a question mark for me, just because Origins is so perfect. I don't need a 7 POA MOTU because Origins is so good. But that being said, like, for those that don't have a vintage He-Man or vintage Skeletor and you really want that as vintage as possible look, this is for you. But I don't know, Quick, what was your thoughts on seeing these?
My thoughts on this was this is Mattel refusing to be outdone by Ninja Turtles and just, going for gold, going for the gusto of, they got Origins, but you know what? Here's cartoon collection from Origins. And you know what else? Here's vintage collection from Origins. So, well, I don't know if this is going to be under the Origins umbrella, but I'm always a fan of reissues. It looks like, unlike Playmates with some of their figure reissues, these paint apps look phenomenal. So they're not skimping on.
Yeah, you're getting extra paint apps. The original toys did not have this. Yeah.
So there is a customer base out there. I can't imagine this goes too deep. Maybe they're testing the waters to see how much they can diversify their portfolio.
Nicely done. Commit to the bit, Quip.
Yeah. So I don't hate it. And if you like it, I love it.
To me, okay, this is not a dip the toe with MOTU. This is why I think. The thing with MOTU is, like, if you do like the first 8 figures, you can do like 30 figures because of the tool reuse. And so if they're putting forth new tooling, which this does, even though it's clearly pulling from the original sculpts, I'd be curious if they drop the rubber band legs. Maybe they do it to be more accurate. But if they do, if you put the money into this new vintage tooling, you might as well make a whole bunch of figures. And if it sells, MOTU is such a quick starter in terms of getting a bunch of characters because of their original choice to reuse tooling in a whole bunch of different ways, that, even if it doesn't do that well, they could quickly get to a lot of different figures just on the tool reuse alone. Gary, what was your thoughts on these?
I mean, it's honestly the same thought that I asked in my Batman Forever Spin Master Kenner style review. Like, who is this made for? Is it made for adult collectors who maybe don't have the originals? Or it's definitely not made for modern day children, I don't think, because
Origins is perfect for that.
Yeah, and kids are so used to having multiple points of POA. If they go back to 5 or 7, it's like, what is this? So his knees don't bend. It's
do just, kids really say that? I don't think they say that.
Clearly, you don't hang around the same kids I do. I don't hang around kids.
And by those kids, you mean us, Gary?
Yeah.
Us, the kids you hang out with.
And have I ever heard you talk about the knees don't bend? No. I don't.
Damn it, Gary.
That was not where I meant for that to go. Anyways, this is fine. I don't know. Like, it's not for me, but
Okay.
I'm sure it's for someone.
Okay.
Yeah, there's someone out there who is over the moon and went through the roof just seeing these two, and they'd probably be okay with just these two, right?
For sure.
I think, like you said, you can do 30, but just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. So if they do 8 and they're done, I'm sure some people will really gravitate towards this, and it'll get some new collectors into them.
Yeah.
You're right. It's 6 points of articulation, not 7 points.
Oh. Well,
right?
Oh yeah.
The waist,
2, 3,
head.
4, 5, 6. Yeah.
I think it's 6.
That's right.
The other point is your imagination.
Exactly.
Aww.
Bacon McShig. I'm a simple man. Put out a Skeletor, and I'll buy it.
Right.
There you go.
I mean, these will sell. I don't know if they'll sell enough to.
Well,
I
think they'll sell well because, like, if they just put them on a vintage card, like, make it look like a vintage figure.
It's true.
I feel like a lot of the appeal of those retro turtles is like, hey, I can put, like, on my wall a vintage looking turtle figure without dropping all the money on a vintage figure. I got the card and everything, and maybe it's slightly different, but on a wall, you can't really tell the difference that much.
It's true.
But the thing is just the Origins figures already do that to a certain degree. So whatever, like, it's cool. If this is what you're looking for, I know people are excited about this. I like that. To Quip's point, they aren't like taking away paint applications like the Playmates retro releases. They're actually adding to them. I hope that's not to like bring up the price to the same price as Origins, which if that's the case, that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
But if you're in that, I don't know, $12, maybe $15 tops, that'd be like the very tippity top, I think, of what this could sustain. I see the what people would want to get with these. Yeah, especially for the inbox collectors that don't give a crap about that. I agree. Like, they need to be squishy heads, but they don't look squishy. But I hope they're squishy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. And then Matut Manut. I think we've seen.
Yeah, that was the foot soldier you just blew by.
Yeah. But this is but it goes to the King Hiss, right? Yeah, this
Oh, really? Okay.
I believe so.
Oh, I see that now. Okay, I was confused when I was looking at it before. All right.
So I dig the double stack King Hiss kind of thing. And then cool. The foot soldier has the King Hiss body armor and arms and stuff that then swap out to give you this roided out King Hiss. So yeah, he's cool. But I feel like we've seen that one already. And then this Shredder Snake version's cool.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of reuse out of that tail. But yeah, there you go. He-Man. Still crushing all these years later. All right, we are over an hour, and I don't want to be here all night because we're going to be here all night tomorrow night. Let's just quickly talk about Club Grayskull. This got dropped on God, what was it? Thursday. And this, for those of us that have been collecting MOTU for a long time, we may have already signed up for Club Grayskull back in the Matty Collector days. If you do not know what that was, buying toys on Matty Collector, the MOTU Classics collection, they started selling out so fast. I believe it was the Trap Jaw Battle Cat like twofer where they sold out in under 10 minutes. And people were really pissed. Or maybe it was even before that. Whatever. But the solution to the problem of quick sellouts was Club Grayskull. And I was a subber. I was a day one subber. What got me was seeing the Wonder Bread He-Man, or Wondar as they named him for that toy line for the first time. Seeing that in the display case at San Diego Comic-Con in 2008 or 7 or whatever that was like, I need that figure. That's an exclusive figure for this club, then I'm signing up for it. Sorry, Paul, we're going tomorrow too. Gary won't be here because he's doing the Oscars, but Quip and I will be here. And we're talking about it. I think Ace from Mom and Toy is going to jump in for a bit too. 2009. Thank you, All Music. But that was, you had to sign up and commit to like $250 of figures minimum, and you didn't get a choice. You got them no matter what. This seems to be way different. For $9.99 for the year, you get access to unique items, priority windows, I'm assuming for exclusive figures, voting privileges, exclusive content, and collecting community. Connect with fans who share your passion. Hopefully it's a well-moderated collecting community. So I think it's fun. I think they made it cheap enough that it's not that big a deal. Like, spread that out over 12 months. That's less than $1 a month. It's actually even cheaper than a GDL family membership. So kudos, Club Grayskull, making me look bad.
Jeez.
But
going after the little guy.
That's, I'm business Jay right now.
That's right.
But it's kind of fun. I think we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out, because the figures haven't really been selling out as quickly lately. But we'll see. But Quip, what's your thoughts on the Club Grayskull?
Here, this is a great opportunity to again excite the customer base of Mattel, right? People love exclusivity, right? So here we're selling the sizzle, not necessarily the steak, right? We're selling the opportunity to purchase our goods. I say our goods like I work for Mattel. So Mattel's goods. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. You never know.
Quip Mattel shill, God shill.
Oh no.
Where do you business exactly?
No. Hold on, Quip. I need a shill Quip at some point in time in the future. Just FYI.
Okay.
At some point. That'd be great. Thanks.
All right. Absolutely. Let's make a note. Hold on. Let me. Got it. Okay. But no, this is a fun opportunity. Like you said, it's not crazy. I don't know how long that price point will remain that price point. I feel like it's low. It's trying to get people into it, right? It reminds me of Hasbro Pulse.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the original prices were, but I know it's steadily increased. And even then, it's still, if you order a lot of times from Hasbro Pulse, then it's worth it. Absolutely. Many a collector will say that it's totally worth it, especially if you're going to get a HasLab, right? So Club Grayskull, early access, again, some figures that sell out really quickly, some exclusive figures. I think Brick actually mentioned in the chat, people are saying that, I could pass on that vintage Skeletor and He-Man now. But if they were exclusive to Club Grayskull, like if it was a very limited run, I could see those being figures that people pass on now, and then they just get super excited about down the line afterwards. So
yeah. Well, they got an exclusive figure coming. I think there's a hint in this picture. But Gary, what's your thoughts on the Club Grayskull?
I don't think I really have much more to add than either of you have already said. Like, I think $10 price point for a year is great, as opposed to like the almost Columbia House style, original existence of the club. But I think fans will want to be a part of a club, even if it's just for the like Discord element of it, right? So.
Yeah, they're kind of encroaching on my turf here, okay? Like, part of the GDL Patreon is you get exclusive access to a Discord. It's a great community.
Who do you know at Mattel that might have stole this from you?
I don't know. There's plenty of people there. No, I don't think anybody stole it. Maybe they did. I don't. There are Mattel employees that watch this show, so
that would be quite an honor, actually.
Maybe. I don't know. Take off this tie. I can't live in business world anymore. Quip.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. Some can't hang, It's just understand you don't get coffee because coffee is for closers.
Oh man.
Can I still join the team pizza party? Because we're really stressed out. We're working so much.
Yeah. Pizza. Everybody gets one slice of pizza.
Some of my favorite memes of just like, is your team completely burnt out? Management, what's your solution? Pizza party.
This has been a long episode, but I didn't know we were going to go a full work week because Jay's gone from business Jay to casual Friday Jay. So
there you go.
American Psycho. All right. Okay, this is the clue, by the way.
Yes.
I'm sure probably Toy Habits already said this because they're always on top of this shit. But this is an image from the 2000X cartoon, I believe. Or was it maybe Classics or something? But this is a tombstone. Who's the tombstone for? None other than Hero.
Ooh.
So, folks, Hero is who I think the first exclusive figure is going to be.
That's a good call.
And maybe not. Maybe they just picked this picture because it's kind of cool. It looks good behind the Club Grayskull logo, but it's
yeah.
Hero. All right, let's keep moving on here. I don't have a slide for it, but I feel like going from Mattel to McFarlane is
right
important.
There. Yeah, fourth row right there is about where the multiverse and because we're about to talk superpowers and super friends, right?
Well, yes, but
Okay.
I
Oh,
feel
okay.
like before we even talk about that,
Okay.
and I already talked about this with the Dole on his show
Mhm.
a couple days ago. But gentlemen, how do we feel that McFarlane, this is their last year of DC figures, and now it's going back to Mattel? Gary, I'll give you first pass at this while I get the thing teed up, and then Quip will get your thoughts. But thoughts on Ding Dong, Todd is gone. It's going back to Mattel.
Well, I mean, I think it's time for a change of powers. I don't necessarily have the highest of hopes, I guess. Like, I don't really know what to expect from Mattel. But I feel like Todd's had a solid run. And if Mattel gives us more female figures, then like that's great. I don't know. I'm not crazy about the whole digital element because I don't understand it, which seems to be something that they're really pressing going into this final year with the figures. But yeah, we shall see. What about you, Quip?
I am excited to see what Mattel does with the property. I don't feel so, other than of course the lack of female figures and superpowers, right? I don't
And
feel like
across the
Todd
board, like I know there's been more female figures in the DC
multiverse.
multiverse, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I know really the complaint really is with superpowers because I mean they've reused the Buck and repainted so many Batman, so many Superman in that line, right? Which but and we keep getting Wonder Woman over and over and over when you could easily have made a few other characters. But I digress. Or as Dole says, I digest. I think this will be a good opportunity for McFarlane to leverage with respect to really just kind of going for it, going all out, just kind of rushing. I won't say rushing development, but really speeding up development for some things that I think this year we're going to see some of what Todd has really kind of held back on or been a little more calculated about now that he knows that kind of the timer's running.
Yeah.
Before Mattel really starts to issue a lot of the toys, so he's going to try and get as much off the table as he can, and I think that's a great opportunity for collectors. I'm really excited to see what he does in the year to come. Hopefully there is some branching out, but I mean, if you started in the beginning, we're going to see Superman, we're going to see Superman, we're going to see Robin, we're going to see Batman, and we're going to see Joker. But are we going to get anything other than those primary and mainstays that kind of just, I'm kind of waiting. I'm kind of holding my horses, and I want to see how the rest of this year goes for Todd. Again, no ill will, but it is kind of due time for somebody else to kind of pick up or run with the torch, right? So.
Yeah, and like my personal preference is that he finishes some of the open lines that he does have. Like for me, the only DC like multiverse figures I have are from Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. I'm hoping in this last year we at least get Batman Returns and maybe Batman 89. I don't know. Like But no shame on Todd aside from the female figures thing. Like, he's given us some really great stuff, but like for me personally, it's never been enough. Like, I loved the 4 Batman Beyond figures that we got, but then there were countless others that were all repaints or alternate heads or whatever. And it's like you have a whole series that you could go into with this, and it feels like with McFarlane, it's always just skirting the surface. And I hope Mattel gives us some deeper cuts.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's a poll in the chat right now. Are you happy or sad that DC is moving on from McFarlane to Mattel? I give you happy, sad, or neither. So if you want to get your thoughts represented in the show, put it in the poll right now. And for me, I'm happy. Like, I'm not there. As a vocal pushback proponent of more female figures in the line, and I think it's the same for anybody that collects this toy, because DC has so many great female figures or characters, I'm sorry, and it was kind of absurd. And then it just got worse when Todd made the weird comments that he made on Shudderman's Prime show, that it almost like reinforced like what we thought was some of the negativity there. But they really needed to go to it, and it just seems like in the totality of their stewardship of this license, they just haven't done it and haven't even really, I don't know, made the concerted effort to improve that, which is wild because this is their 5th year of the license. But yeah, I think for a lot of people, the Watcher Mattel will actually give us female figures, unlike Todd. MGMCU says, I don't like to take pleasure in someone losing license, but the lack of women figures just got too ridiculous. James Vinnipole says, that is one remove black border away from an awesome Superman. Close but no cigar is so up Todd's alley. So yeah, this figure having the black border on the Superman logo is not totally accurate. Sean Phillips, I'm just hoping they go back to smaller 6-inch scale. I am as well. I want it to scale with those Marvel Legends figures. I have a solid McFarlane DC collection. Mattel will have to do something really great to get me to replace them. They aren't perfect, but most of them are good enough. Let's see. Black Phoenix says, good riddance. I'm getting tired of endless Batmans. Soulcraft, more Harley and Catwoman, please. And Justin Huber, the movie guy. Hopefully the capes are made out of pliable plastic for Mattel. One thing I'll say with Todd, he didn't shy away from cloth goods, and I think they look really good when he's done. Or, well, at least some of them look better than others. Yeah. So we'll see if Mattel does. But I will say Mattel's soft goods capes on MOTU stuff have been really nice. Their cloth goods cape, sometimes they're good. Sometimes they leave something to be desired. So we'll have to see how that goes. But let's talk about their actual DC figure reveals. First up are these kind of comic book accurate versions of characters. And first up is this Superman, who is of the style of, why am I blanking on his name? Okay, the style guy. This is where I need Dole to tell me something. Garcia Lopez. Anyway, this is again, I think most people in their head, when you think about Superman, at least for those of us that grew up in the 80s, would want a Superman that looks like this. That being said, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. There we go.
There you go. Perfect.
And the black border is weird.
Yeah.
But I will buy this. Like, if I see this in the store, I will buy this figure because I love this look. This is in my head, this is my Superman. And I think it looks really solid, even though it has kind of primitive articulation. I still want it. Quip, what's your thoughts?
I think that there are people out there, for as much as we give grief to McFarlane for another Superman, another Batman, right? Myself included. I think it's nice that he's exploring so many different variants so that you can just be patient, staying fast, and get that one version that somebody said this is really close, but it's the black border. If the black border is the only thing holding you back from this, then okay. But you know, this is somebody's mind's eye Superman, as you just mentioned, Jay. And so if they are absolutely in love with this figure and excited that this is coming out at the end of the run from McFarlane, then you know what? If one person loves it, then cool. I'd say it's worth it. But and again, that's not so. Sorry, I need to stay in business quit mode. That was quit mode. But again, credit, and I think before even moving on to Jace, actually hit the nail on the head, right? Because it's hard for me to stay. Okay, so I can keep the business attire on, but I can't keep the persona up. McFarlane, like credit where credit is due, right? He kept his prices low, right? He never looked to gouge anyone. I know there was some consternation around the set from the Joker. But understandably so. That was a little more sensitive subject matter. Generally speaking, these figures have been affordable for everybody, and so you know, wanting to not just show McFarlane the door and give him the boot, but really acknowledge the fact that he is a businessman who is also a collector, and while he has misstepped, said some bad things with respect to, again, women in line or boys playing with girl toys. At the end of the day,
toys, just toys of girls.
But toys of girls, you're right. Not girl toys, but toys of girls. You're correct. There's a distinction there. But the fact that he kept the price point affordable so that people can enter his line at any point is admirable. You know, we do need to acknowledge that. But again, back to this Superman. It's somebody's perfect Superman, and so bully for them.
Yep. Gary.
That somebody is me, Quip. I do think that I hadn't noticed the black outline until somebody mentioned it, and now it's driving me crazy. But like, beyond that,
like, why did you say it?
Beyond that, like, everything about this screams the Superman that was on my bed sheets as a kid. And
it is. It's literally Garcia Lopez. His style guide is what all of us had for merch in the 80s and probably the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, that shade of blue, the shade of red, like all the colors are perfect. The hair, like I dig it. And yeah, I can't stop staring at the line. But beyond that, like, this is a perfect toy. And like, I'm not a huge Superman guy. I was as a kid. And really the long-haired Superman of the 90s was kind of the one that I dug.
I wonder
growing up.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like, this is great. I like this. That's the one.
Yes.
That's the one.
Yeah.
The Nick Cage one. This figure kind of looks like Nick Cage a little bit. Okay. Moving on. We don't have too much time. Let's just quickly go through these. This Joker looks cool. Earth 2 Robin looks cool. Some statues. That's pretty neat. If you like that. Joker foliage, more like folia.
No.
There you go. Thank you, Quip. Bravo. 10,000 comedy points. Cool. I don't get the statues thing. We've got some more superpowers, which nothing's new. I guess that Robin is new.
Yeah.
Is that Wonder Woman new back there?
Yeah, I guess that gold Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Okay. And then Robin. Okay.
And then these Super Friends, Superpowers figures are kind of cool.
Yeah, they look good.
But they're not really superpowers. They're just Super Friends figures, but kind of in that smaller scale. They have more articulation. I think that's fun if that's, what you're looking for.
But like, from what I understand, the red label is the chase. So like, is that the only way Riddler's going to be available? I want to... I want more clarification on that.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't like that. But Super Friends is such a classic look. I mean, that's growing up, like that was the only way we got DC story, like cartoon before Batman animated series, Superman animated series. Like that was how we got to watch them in toon form, or if they made like a guest appearance on Scooby Doo or something. Like so, this was it. So in terms of looks and everything, I think they look great. They kind of feel like they're kind of pulling from some of the sculpting styles of not so much superpowers, but the 66 Batman stuff, by the looks of it. So
yeah,
I think it's fun.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't have anything to add to that.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It'll go right with Batman 66. It'll be fun. Hopefully, we'll see if we get again Todd feeling the crunch or feeling the pressure. If we'll get vehicles or if we'll get the different play sets headquarters, just like we saw with Batman 66. So,
or if he's like, I lost the license, I don't care anymore.
So I mean that Batman would also go in line perfectly with the Scooby Gang from the Scooby Doo movies.
Yes. So. Yes. Okay. Good call. Commissioner, I'm going to quickly go through these. Unless you have something you really want to say, feel free to say it. But otherwise, quickly go through. Commissioner Gordon, some type of armored Batman. Someone in the chat like, oh, that's so and so Batman from something.
That's exactly who it is. So and so Batman from planet something.
Like I don't know, like Archangel Batman. I don't know.
Looks cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Is which version of
Lightning Lad?
Oh, is it Lightning Lad? Is there like a kid version? Is there
I think so? I don't know. I could be wrong.
Check and if I'm wrong. But cool. More figures is awesome.
Icon.
It is it Lightning Lad? Is that a thing?
Is it like okay, Lightning Lad. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's new Lightning Lad. Is this a new character? Damn, see, this is wrong. I'm out of the loop. I don't know nothing.
I can't believe I knew something. Yeah. I'm going to celebrate.
White Lightning? Is that? No, it's not White Lightning. All right. Let's keep moving on to McFarlane Toys doing Mortal Kombat Classic. Go. Is this the I'm getting over you? Is this the breakup text? Is this the
rebound?
Right? Is this your rebound?
Yeah.
Is it good enough? You've lost DC. Is this good enough?
This is the line that McFarlane told DC not to worry about, right? But had on speed dial. Yeah.
These look really good.
Yeah, I guess it's I guess I'm not a huge Mortal. To me, nothing's too compelling aside from the Sub-Zero and what's the
Scorpion?
Scorpion.
Yeah.
Aside from those two, like the designs have never been that compelling to me, which maybe will get me roasted in the comments. I'm sorry. I always felt Street Fighter's designs a little more compelling than Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was more of just, ooh, it's taboo as a kid because they're going to rip your brains out or whatever, all the blood and everything. But I always thought Street Fighter was a better game and had better looking characters. Sorry.
I'm not going to argue that. Like I think for the most part, it is predominantly human characters, but the ones that stand out are like Jax or like Raiden, whatever have you. But Scorpion and Sub-Zero are two iconic characters, and I'm glad to see them getting some love.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the ninjas. I think.
Okay.
This is Mortal Kombat. So I'll say one of two things. One, I hope that he takes a note from Jada or Jada, as some people say it. For
some people is Gary.
Some people Gary.
Hello.
That he takes a note from Jada, how Jada has approached Street Fighter 2, and that if he's doing a Mortal Kombat line, I think eventually we can at least get all the character build out, like the roster through MK3. But if he just starts off simple with, okay, here are all the characters from Mortal Kombat, and then kind of goes into Mortal Kombat 2. But because of those ninjas, as you were just saying, Jay, where those are the most compelling designs for you. We were just talking about McFarlane doing different variants and iterations of other characters. So if McFarlane really is going to go all in on Mortal Kombat, the likelihood that we'll get all of those ninjas and all of those ninjas lined up, right? Of Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Rain, Noob Saibot, Reptile. I feel like I'm forgetting a couple. But yeah, like just to have them all lined up, that I'm excited about that. And again, this is McFarlane's not over because he lost the DC or he's losing the DC license, right? There's still plenty for McFarlane to do. So
yeah,
this is cool. And look, I think this is a good announcement.
Yeah, and for this first wave, we've already got Melina and Sonya. So like we've got 2 female characters in the first wave. That's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah. For Todd.
Has he learned something?
No.
Have we learned? Have we grown?
Has he though, or is Kitana kind of the Wonder Woman of Mortal Kombat? And effectively, Melina is, are they twins? I know they're sisters. I don't know if they're twins, but yeah.
Yeah. Wait, was that Kitana on the first?
The other one was Kitana. This one's Melina.
Oh,
the other one's Kitana.
My bad.
Yeah.
How dare you, Gary? How dare you?
So we need to see if we get a Sonya Blade, right?
Yeah,
she should be in the first line. So
agree. Yeah.
Okay, before we move on from the McFarlane thing, I'm going to end the poll. And if you were happy, sad, or indifferent, neither, that McFarlane is DC's moving from McFarlane to Mattel, 39%. Number one, neither. I guess indifferent. But most are happy. In between the happy and sad, 36% are happy that's moving over, and 23% is sad. That's more than I would think would be sad that McFarlane is no longer doing DC figures. So
it's also way more indifference than I expected.
Right? Apathy prevails. It's the problem with this country. Way too much apathy. All right. Let's move on to, I think,
here we go.
If there's a best in show, maybe it's like, because it's the biggest glow up. Remember when Loyal Subjects used to give them so much crap for their best action figures? I think we called them best craption figures.
Oof,
well, I did maybe. But their mask reveal, and we'll get into My Pet Monster, and we've already seen some of the gem figures. What? Like, you're really gonna do this? And not only are you bringing back Mask, but they're like legit recreations of the original toys. Like, and we're gonna have Ace on tomorrow. I'm curious if he has any thoughts. He'd be fine sharing publicly on a live stream that's watched by thousands of people. But his quote unquote Thunder Fock, like foe, not like the bad word. It was sold for a lot of money, and on the secondary market, probably until today, sold for a lot of money. But now you can get, these recreations of the vintage ones, and they look phenomenal. I'm so excited for that. I already have all these. I don't need them, but damn it, if I find these in the stores, I'll probably pick them up because I have a problem.
Yeah.
Gare Bear, what's your thoughts on seeing these mass figures from Loyal Subjects?
I mean, so much nostalgia. Like it's I think they look amazing. And what I know of the price points is, they're pretty fair. I mean, definitely a whole hell of a lot cheaper than buying an original. So
yeah.
I mean, do you really think that this will affect the aftermarket that much, though? Like, I think people will still want the originals.
Here's I think it will, personally, because and again, I have a decent mass collection. I have all of these vehicles here, and I have a lot more. I have the play set. The plastic and the transforming mechanisms kind of lose some of their effectiveness over time. So if you're telling me, the chrome, they don't use vac metal like the vintage figures, so that is a look that's going to be, you can't really replicate that. It's not going to be on that same level, but take that out of it. Like, this is going to be so much more fun to play with. Hopefully they got the engineering right. so that it works just as well as the original fit. But if it does, if they have that original transformation, like I think this dramatically affects the secondary market price for the vintage toys.
Quip, what does your business sense tell you about this situation?
My business sense. So let me pause for the cause and actually just talk about. I'll go into business Quip, but let me start with Quip, where what honestly makes me excited about this. So the first thing that popped in my head is if Dan Larson's mom is going to buy him this mat tracker to try and make up for accidentally throwing it away. If she's going to be able to make amends, if she's going to heal that mat tracker shaped hole in Dan Larson's heart with this loyal subjects. I love the idea of this bringing together families. Now, I know he said before that he's got plenty and he doesn't hold the grudge, but it's a fun story to share.
I like that. This is the Hollywood version retelling of Dan Larson's family story.
But from a business perspective, I do think we're gonna have to get him in hand, because one of the first things that Mask has a fandom, because it is short-lived and it hasn't had the reproduction, right? This is something that collectors have been clamoring for quite some time. And so there are going to be distinct differentiations made between the loyal subject or TLS line and the originals, the vintages. And so for a moment, it's going to decrease some of the prices, because people who are just as happy having the dupes or having the newer ones and not necessarily needing the vintage figures because, hey, it's newer stickers, right? Everything's good. Well, it'll remain to be seen what the quality of the plastic is involved in making these figures. But I think the market is going to dip on the vintage figures for a little bit, then it'll come right back up. It'll recover. I don't think it's going to, in the long term, affect the sales of vintage Mask figures. This is me personally. Yeah.
Right on.
Let me. They're asking in the chat, like showing it next to the I guess, how do I share screen without I need to make me bigger. Whatever. But this is. Oh, sorry, Gary. I gotta switch with you, my friend. This is the vintage Thunder Hawk. What is this? It's Thunder Hawk, right? Blanking on names. But anyway, so you can see the vac metal, and again, mine has some patina on it. It's probably not as shiny as like day one. But still, it is a little bit shinier on the vac metal pieces. As you can see, it catches the light there.
Oh yeah.
But if you can tell, like the door is gonna. I have mine displayed open up, which is probably not the way to go. But it's a little saggy, and but still, it holds up nice. But then when you look at it with this new one here. Like it's like pretty much bang on, and sure it doesn't have the chrome, but like it just looks cleaner, and I'm sure this is a prototype, maybe it's not the finalized whatever, but
yeah,
unless you're going to be a stickler about it, like if you had this on your display with vintage, if you're missing one or whatever, like boom, I don't see why you'd want to go vintage. And even they've added to it, because this one actually has the rear view mirrors. The original toy does not have the rear view mirrors, right? So I am against customer applied stickers because I hate putting on stickers.
Oh god, no. Don't love
that. It's the worst. I hate it. But clearly this is an upgrade. Chris says here they scanned the original Kenner toys, digitally added improvements, like I said, those rear mirrors there, and Easter eggs. And John Warden, who used to work at Hasbro, said they will be like real toys you can play with outside. Like I've talked about before, toy companies taking the Origins approach. If you had to put that under a banner, under an umbrella, Origins is a style where you take a vintage thing and you capture everything that made that vintage thing great, but add improvements to it, or did you say like HD or like maybe making it high definition? Was it you said that last week? But like that is the secret sauce if you want to get into that nostalgia space. And even the figures, like that Matt Tracker, has more detail than a vintage Matt Tracker toy. They didn't have any eye paint or anything. Like, I think this could be really, really special. And like, if you're going to do mask origins and you're not even Hasbro doing it, like Loyal Subjects, and we're gonna show the My Pet Monster stuff in a second. But god dang, like, well, like this is cool. This is really, really cool.
Yeah. Just do us a favor. If you do wind up buying these after you have your nightmare of putting on the stickers, please do like a side-by-side comparison. Like, I would love to see the differences and the Easter eggs that are in there.
Going to do a side-by-side, folks.
Ooh. And the addition of the blast effects and stuff is a really nice.
So cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk price. If someone's put in the chat, I did see a tweet or a blue sky about it before, but I think the price is fine. It's a little spendy, but considering what they are and what you're getting, I don't think anything's way too crazy. I don't say comparison time. That's Pixel Dance. I say do a side-by-side comparison. See, it's different.
I think the lowest price, if I'm remembering correctly, I think the lowest price is $29.99 and the highest is like $99.99.
The Rhino's expensive, and they can't call it Rhino anymore. But
yeah,
I think 30, 50, 75, and a hundo.
Yeah, something also says 150 to me, but I could just be misremembering grossly. So,
how many vehicles in the original lineup? Well, you should go check out the Toy Geeks podcast, where Dan Larson and I and a lot of fun guests went through every single release of the original Mask toy line. I gotta go hit up. We had Ken from Toy Connections. We had a few people on. I gotta get permission. Maybe I'll post those videos up on the Toy Geeks YouTube channel as well. But so anywho, excited, really, really excited. It's I'll come out. Well, I won't come out and say, but there's a dear friend to this channel who's no longer on this channel or no longer on this show that told me, and Gary, I think at the same time, dude, be excited. I've seen these. They look amazing. And I think it will be a game changer for at least mass collectibles. And that gentleman who is always right in picking out accessories was right in this sense. These things look amazing. Really pumped. No notes, Loyal Subjects.
Nope.
No
Nailed
notes.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what else Loyal Subjects is doing. Gem figures look phenomenal. My wife, Colleen, is a huge Gem fan. If I see a Gem, I'm going to buy it for her. And maybe I can get her hooked on the toy collecting.
I love how they made her villain Pizzazz, right?
Yeah.
Is that who? I don't know the characters at all. Is that the villain?
Yeah. She's the lead singer of the Misfits.
Cool. Oh wait, I know the Misfits. I know that from this song. We are the Misfits. Isn't that their part of the song?
Yeah.
But yeah, these look so sick.
They do.
Again, if I see him. My buddy, too creepy for me, but cool.
Yeah.
Perfect for somebody.
Yeah. Creepiest thing is wherever you go, he goes.
I know.
So you just turn around, boom. He's there.
Go.
He's no buddy of mine.
Rainbow Bright, come on, looks so good.
Looking really good.
Oh, by the way, oh wait, I have to talk about this on Toy Geeks. That stupid accessory. John thinks it may be a Rainbow Bright accessory. But okay, let's talk about my pet monster. I have a vintage My Pet Monster that I bought from John at Hero Source Toys and Collectibles. Right, hold on, I'm gonna go big screen here. There it is right there. vintage. It was missing the cuffs. Matt Bush got me cuffs, so it's a fully vintage My Pet Monster. I love it. It's so freaking cool. This is an After Dark. I can't drop a swear. So it's people have remade the My Pet Monster before, but it didn't look as cool. Never recaptured that coolness of the vintage My Pet Monster. But again, loyal subjects, whoever's doing the magic over there is doing it, because I think this My Pet Monster, it's smaller. It is definitely smaller than a vintage one.
Yeah.
But that being said, unlike some of the other reissues, they captured, I think, all of the core components that made the vintage My Pet Monster like just a more niche, cool toy. And again, unlike a vintage My Pet Monster, where the hands and the feet, the kind of shiny paint or whatever, starting to flake off.
Yep.
Now you get to have a vintage one. You don't have to worry about breaking. Quip, what's your thoughts on these My Pet Monsters?
So this may have been a little before my time. I like them. I love the design. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? For lack of a better term, I mean, it's definitely nostalgic, but just the colors, the bright orange, which is complementing the blue fur, right? It's all in all, it's just fun. Like, and I'm thinking, so were you supposed to handcuff this My Pet Monster to yourself?
No, you could wear the cuffs and you could break them. He could break them. Wow. So it's like a play feature.
Okay. Alrighty. I mean, he's cute. I think it'll be fun. Again, it's anything that is coming back that hits that sweet spot of this can easily be something that I bought for my daughter and she would love playing with it. Like kids today would love playing with it. And like you said, breaking the cuffs or putting them back together, or it goes and it's treated more preciously and it's put like on a shelf. But you don't have to be too precious with it, because you can have your vintage one and then you can have one to just, put between you and Colleen every night when you go to bed, just keep it there on the bed. And she's like, what is this, Jay? And you're like, it's My Pet Monster, Adele.
Yeah. It's a great point. Like I would, and I was never a stuffed animal guy. I only had one stuffed animal. Well, I guess I had other ones, but only one that kind of hung around, and that's my Stay Puft stuff from Kenner. That's the only one I really had and kept around, but I was never a sleep with a stuffed animal kid. My youngest son, Alex, is though, and I'm gonna get one of these for him. I think he'd dig it, or maybe he'll hate it. But it's funny how I'd be like, I would be fine having this in my marital bed, this monster, but I would not want the My Buddy thing. I'd not to get the hell out of here, My Buddy.
Yeah,
nobody wants you.
I think this looks really good. His eyes look a little different than the original to me. Like they're a little more. They almost look like they could move. I don't know.
No, that's that. I'm looking at the original.
They're the exact
very
same?
similar to the original one.
I guess I'm thinking of his animated design where they were a little closer. But
the animated design is cuter for sure, which they have a lot of animated style.
Okay, I like those.
Those are fun.
Yeah. And then I guess even smaller versions.
Yeah, like little cutie pie versions.
I think these are fun. I like all of them.
But like this is a dead ringer for the vintage one, except smaller. It's definitely like a scaled down one, which again I think is like, it's like, if you look here, it's in my display. Like for scale, this is all big stuff in my little behind me display. That's the BMF Millennium Falcon. That's the Scare Glow. Like it's big. He's not even standing up or anything. He's a big guy. He's sitting down, and he's taller than I don't know, quite a few different things. But anyway, yeah, there you go.
Yep.
He's a big guy.
Yeah. It's cool to see him back.
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
And I actually do like a smaller, more like huggable size, I think, for him.
Exactly. No classified. We'll get into that tomorrow. Gentlemen, I think that's about it for day one of Toy Fair, New York Toy Fair, and day one of Geek Dad Life's coverage of it. Gentlemen, final thoughts. Gary, these will be your final thoughts, period, because you won't be with us tomorrow night. So why don't you kick us off? Final thoughts on Toy Fair. I know we didn't talk about NECA or Hasbro or Super 7 or Playmates. We'll everyone, don't worry. We'll dive into those tomorrow and whatever other big things come up. But Gary, any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, we didn't talk about any of the stuff that I was here for, but no.
So sorry.
I actually didn't know the plan going into this, so I've just been winging it the whole time, which is great. This took me by surprise, and I actually got to see a few things I hadn't seen yet. So yeah, like I think all this stuff is really cool. I'm trying to think like what would be my favorite element of the night, and it's probably all that nostalgic stuff coming back to us from loyal subjects. Because very clearly that's kind of my brand. So like, it's great to see it.
Agreed. Sorry we're not here for anything you want to talk about, Gary. Paul Galliano, he's gonna be watching the Oscars tomorrow. I should have realized the classified Oscar demographic is the same. We should have done classified tonight. Quip. Notes for next year. But
Demi Moore is nominated. She was in G.I. Jane Classified. Come on, get it together, Jane.
Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry. Quip, final thoughts on stuff we talked about today, even though we'll have time tomorrow as well.
I think not only were the products that were on exhibit today going to be a game changer, right? And not only are they going to be breaking down silos across the collecting community so that people can effectively get bang for their buck, right? I believe that.
Wait, hold on. I got you, my friend. That was great.
But lots of cool toys. The thing that I liked about each of the lines that we walked through so far, right? And there's going to be even more out there, is that some of these lines are going deep, so that if you are absolutely a fan of that one particular line, you can go all in on it. I'm thinking like MOTU, Thundercats, love what we're seeing with MOTU Origins, but also when you zoom out, if somebody is looking to expand their collection and maybe they're not in a financial place right now to have a backdrop, kind of like what we're looking at right now in your room, Jay, of, okay, there's this vintage My Pet Monster, and then you've got a little bit of everything from everywhere. Right now, to quote Toy Connections, we clearly still are a part of a toy renaissance, that IPs that we thought were long gone that we would never see, right? Especially that big surprise mask. Okay, maybe you feel some type of way about paying $100 for one of those vehicles, but if you just want that matte tracker, then just get the matte tracker. And you can display that with, if you're a fan of My Buddy, go with My Buddy, or maybe you go with My Pet Monster. And then you could pick, you
can't be both. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you can't do both, everybody. You can't be My Buddy and my, yeah.
But
they do not mix.
But there's so much out there right now that is for not just vintage collectors, but for newer people getting into collecting, and for kids. That's really what is very exciting, is what we've talked about, like McFarlane's price points. You know what? Maybe there's teenagers out there who are into comics, or even older, like kids, still elementary age, that can still get those figures, and they're going to bond with them, with their moms and their dads over these properties. And what's always fun to me is whenever my daughter gets into something that, it's not not Ninja Turtles, because she definitely knows like I'm a Ninja Turtles guy. But if she gets into something that I am situationally aware of, but maybe there's a new version of it, a new iteration of it, that she likes telling me, "Hey, Dad, did you know that this is based on another old cartoon, or based on this, or based on that?" And I just kind of go, "Huh, tell me more, kiddo." Like it's fun, that sort of just opportunity to
and
bond
if
over
she
toys.
messes
Toys
up,
are
you're like,
fun.
you did it wrong. That's not right. You messed that up, honey. I'm so sorry. It's actually not good.
Yeah, but yeah, just all the toys that we went over today. So much fun stuff. So much
Yeah.
fun stuff in store for tomorrow evening as well. Looking forward to that conversation. Hope you enjoy the Oscars, Gary. Sorry you won't be able to join us, but I'm glad you were able to jump on today. And you know what? Even though people were razzing you early on, I think you jumped right in here and you were able to wing it, pick it up.
Well,
You know,
I showed up. I showed up underdressed. It was on me. And
in fairness, I did text you like, because you're like, hey, I can join tonight, and I was like, sure. And then I think I texted you because then I realized as I was getting the show, I was like, oh crap, we're doing this bit 5 minutes before we went live. So
it's all good. No, I mean, honestly, for me, the takeaway is these toys are great, but this conversation's been even greater. And, thank you guys for having me on.
Stop it, Gary. But also, damn it, Gary. Also love you, Gary. Just real quick. Allison Troy, do not go with my buddy. He will come alive in the night and suffocate you with the pillow and then do awful things to your corpse. You've been warned.
It's true.
Okay.
We're telling you, folks. Jay says my pet monster eats my buddy. And I love this from Derek. G.I. Jane led to a slap at the Oscars. So keep that classified out your mouth, Gary.
Yeah, I was reading that and trying not to react while listening to Quip's closing thoughts.
Hey everybody, werebears. There we go. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out in part 1. This has been over 2 hours. Goodness, I think tomorrow will be like 2 hours too. I told Colleen, it's like, we're doing it 2 nights, so it's like 1 hour. I'll be in and out. Honey, don't worry.
Same.
I'm going upstairs into a thunderstorm. Okay? Quip, I'm sorry. I'm going to get in trouble.
It's okay.
But
remember, Jay?
I set no expectations.
Good. You're smart, Gary.
So, Jay.
Yes.
Be a pet in the streets and a monster in the sheets.
On that note, we'll see you all tomorrow night. Until then, hasta luego and goodbye. Happy Toy Fair 2025. Bye, everybody.